How many
overtime,
dates have you been
overtime.
on where the shit was dead in the first 30 minutes?
Happening his jaws. We finna
See?
make this shit now playing.
Mhm.
um, I do want to ask this though. Do men struggle with vulnerability? Can we touch on that, or do you want to touch on that another episode?
No, we can touch on that. I think,
Okay.
and I've seen this, just in different forms and different areas as far as men being uh in that position. Because here's the thing, and I've seen it to where men try to open up and be vulnerable and open. Some women consider that to be a sassy
Mm,
attitude. And my thing is
I
that
have heard that.
I'm a person that's considered a rock. I'm a person that checks on people, that makes sure people are good, with no expectation that people checking on me. When you're a rock, people don't really check up on you. They don't. They feel that you're a strong enough person that you don't
Oh,
need that, right? And I
okay.
tell people all the time, even rocks need things to lean. We need to lean on people too from time to time. So um, we should be able to be vulnerable to those that are closest to us. So
But
if
do
I'm
you
in a
do you feel
relationship,
like you struggle with that?
um, for a long time, I think it used to bother me. Honestly, it really did, because it'd be like,
Okay.
I got my people, I got my friends, but they don't. Like I said, I'm the one that checks up on them. I don't get that random, "Hey, how you doing, bro? Just checking in on you" type thing. I'm the one doing things like that. So, if I'm with, if I'm dating, if I'm with a woman, I like to think that I should be able to express my thoughts just in that situation. Like, I feel like, I should be able to open up and be like, man, it's like, it's tough. This is tough out here. Like, who do I talk to when I'm not right?
Mm,
You see what I'm
that's a
saying?
good
So,
one. That's a
so men
good
should,
one.
men should be able to have that moment if and when it comes, and not be judged for it. And I think that's what happens today. That men get judged for those moments. That's not how I carry myself every day. Every day I'm a strong man. But there are times where when I'm alone and by myself, I'm not as strong, because things weigh me
Mm.
down. Things are on my mind. I take on other people's energy when I'm trying to help them get right. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I think we should give men grace with that.
I for I will say this: taking taking away all the dating faux pas, I'll say that I've had. I will say that one of the things that I've always heard dudes say to me is that they feel like they can talk to me. I'm easy to talk to and that sort of thing. And they start telling me, like all their stuff. And you, as a woman, it feels like, oh, he's, trusting me with his personal business, his information, his feelings, his thoughts, all that kind of thing. And we think y'all gonna stay for that. And it's like, no, it's not just that y'all need that. So, for one, a lot of times in the dating world, women, I'll say I've started to scale back on giving a fuck about your feelings, because apparently, when you give a fuck about their feelings too fast, too soon, then you're doing too much. And then it's like, oh, damn, okay, so I can't care about you. I can't, check on you or whatever, because you feel like I'm checking on you and, checking for you, and you're an adult, you're a grown ass man, you don't need nobody, then you get those types.
Yeah.
So for me, I've just started to do the whole thing where it's act like you don't care. Because when you act like you don't care, then they care. They start to take notice and pay attention. I don't know if that's true. That's just been my experience up until this point. So trying something different is all that I can do in this case. But it's working on myself and making sure I got all that cleared out, the mental health therapy, the therapist, all that kind of stuff. It's doing all those things, the inner working to fix yourself. Because if it's me going to, you know, I guess you'd say the whole idea that a woman should be the the helpmate of the man in terms of a relationship, yes. But there's also balance in that too.
Yes.
Balance that if I don't have it, the guy doesn't have it, then we're in a situation where your vulnerability is now being used as a weapon because you've shared with me so much of your business, so much of your past, the different trials or the struggles or the baggage or the trauma, all that sort of thing. Now it's turned around and flipped. You know, women do this all the time. Your daddy wouldn't have left your motherfucking mama if your bitch ass wouldn't have did. Or your girlfriend, your baby mama wouldn't have, if she wouldn't have did it. And you like, whoa. Or it be some wild shit. Well, if they hadn't been touching on your ass while you was little, you like, damn, I've heard arguments around on people's phones. They shouldn't have had it on the speakerphone and all this. But one time I heard this argument, the girl, no matter what the dude did, it was completely inappropriate. Because the thing that she said was, well, if they hadn't been molesting your ass or something when you was little, you ain't let your daddy do this to your sister. And it was a whole bunch of something that this lady was yelling out on her car speaker because she done got into it with this dude. And I was just like, oh my God, what kind of shit, you know?
Yeah,
and
some
all
women
you
use that as
heard,
ammunition. They use it as ammunition to
and all
argument.
you heard was, "Man, bro, you gonna just bring that shit up again?" And it just was quiet, and I was just like, "Damn!" And this is me walking to like a shopping strip, and she pulled up and parked, and I just seen her going like this, and audio booming, and I'm like, "Wow, this lady." You know, did not care nothing about this dude and bringing that up. So the vulnerability for men, in particular Black men, I know it's hard. It's very, very hard, but it's also the flip of it. I think that when women are vulnerable, we feel like it's you're trying to control us if we limit or release rather that vulnerability and become what you call it, attached to you or whatever, attached to whatever your what do you call it, whatever your approval is, or making sure you're pleased and all that kind of thing. So now we're attaching ourselves to you. So women vulnerability tends to be like, oh, that's what you expect for us to be vulnerable, for us to be, you know, timid and small and frail and all these different things. But when we come out and we're, you know, just carrying ourselves at a higher level, and it's the confidence that then turns to, oh, you being, you know, you don't give a fuck about my feelings, or you don't give a fuck about this or that. And it's no, I was trained to not give a fuck about this and that, because when I was doing it the other way, I was too concerned about your feelings, to this, to that. So there's a vulnerability even in letting go of that, because it's the way we was raised. Vulnerability is a sense of weakness, and whether it's men or women, that's just what it is. So
Yeah, and
all
it's
right,
also you have to have a level of trust to be able to talk to whomever on either side to be able to do
yeah.
that. 'Cause in most cases, with women being vulnerable, sometimes men take advantage of that situation. You know what I mean? And uh, prey on a vulnerable woman. It's rare that a man's vulnerability leads to them being taken advantage of. You know what I mean? In certain ways, like how women can be taken advantage of. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but also on that flip side, a man being in that state, it can be thrown back in his face. As what you explained
Absolutely,
before. So
absolutely.
it's a fine line, man. It's a fine line, and it's fucked up how society has kind of just, I guess, galvanized that to this point. Like it's especially
So
black men. It's crazy.
have you ever been called sassy because of saying how you felt about something?
No, I've never been called that. I don't even fuck with women that even use that term.
I just wanted to ask. I'm just trying to see if it's across the board.
Nah,
Um,
I've never.
okay.
I'm pretty strong in my convictions when it comes to certain things. So I would never. I mean, I demand a level of respect. So I don't think a woman would ever call me sassy.
But have you done sassy shit before? Maybe it wasn't called sassy in that instance, but have you done sassy shit?
No, I don't do sassy shit. I'm a petty motherfucker, but I'm not sassy. I'm a petty motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah,
What is some of the pettiest shit you've done? We going into overtime in this motherfucking show.
We have to say that for another, but we need a whole
segment.
Okay. We need a whole segment dedicated to petty. Because I'm King Petty. I'm King Petty.
Okay.
Hold up, let me rephrase that. I used to be petty.
No. You were relishing in the petty memories. You were relishing. He was glorifying it.
Yeah,
glorifying.
Yeah, I'm petty the motherfucker. I was petty the motherfucker.
No, you said he's speaking in present tense, ladies. He's speaking in present tense. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah, don't let us scare you away.
But we're gonna say that. We'll save that. We'll save that for another show for sure. And I'll do better with incorporating these videos because I don't know. But this has been the Quickie series with your girl J. Marie and my host for the series, 610. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and send us your voice note or text message 940-343-5685. Peace.
Y'all be easy.
Or lose the race. Quickie's a game, we set the pace. No time for slow, no time to fall. This show's a day.